The economic impact of the US-Israeli war on Iran is increasingly leaving no industry unscathed. Market analysts say ongoing disruptions to air and sea freight may soon impact the world's supply of medical products. The global pharmaceutical industry relies on highly complex global supply chains, with the production process for many drugs often spanning multiple countries. The Gulf region acts as a strategic gateway connecting drug manufacturers and markets in China, India, Europe, and the US. More than 95% of global pharmaceutical firms have a logistics base in the UAE, with Dubai alone processing tens of thousands of tons of pharmaceutical air freight each year. The Strait of Hormuz acts as another major transit point for drugs traveling between Asia and Africa.
The risks are particularly high for cold chain requiring medicines, so medicines that require having them refrigerated and a temperature range of 2 to 8 degrees centigrade maintained throughout transport. Now, these medicines, we don't hold as much product in inventory because it's expensive, they have shorter shelf lives, and the total capacity to hold things in cold chain across airports and planes and trucks is limited.
The impact of higher shipping costs could also affect active pharmaceutical ingredients, essential in the production of medicines. China and India produce around 2/3 of the world's supply. Generic drugs may also be affected. India alone accounts for 20% of the global supply. The availability of helium, essential for most MRI machines, could face the most acute disruption. 30 to 40% of the world's helium comes from Qatar.
There are probably around 500,000 MRI machines installed globally. A typical MRI machine needs somewhere between 1,500 to 2,000 liters to operate. That doesn't mean that every MRI scan depletes the helium, but every few years, 2-3 years, MRI machine needs to get refills of the helium it uses. That supply is impacted not just in a short-term sense, but also in a somewhat medium to longer-term sense because of the strikes on the production facilities.
The World Health Organization, which serves the world's most vulnerable people with life-saving medicines, has been among the first to raise the alarm. The agency is already reporting drug supply shortfalls after pausing operations at its Dubai hub. Health agencies in several nations, particularly in Asia and Africa, have also raised concerns of a possible impact on their domestic pharmaceutical supplies. Africa, for example, on average imports nearly 99% of its vaccines and more than 70% of its medicines, primarily from India, China, and the EU. For those nations unable to store large pharmaceutical stocks, price and supply shocks could be especially severe. They will be hoping this conflict resolves before any contingency becomes necessary. Basil Rehan, TRT World.